Hello and welcome back to the channel. Join me today as I go down to the Ashdown Forest on a frosty morning to see if I can get some better images of the trees here. I'm in the Ashdown Forest, as you can see behind me. This is one of my favourite places to come to photograph. There's some very interesting trees here. It's more or less the middle of the day and it's Sunday. It's not the best lighting conditions because we've got a clear blue sky, but I think there's some interesting pictures to be had here. So I'm actually going to look around. I've got a couple of trees that I'm thinking might make an interesting subject. So I'll talk you through what I do. Okay, I found that the sun is actually being shielded by a tree in that direction. Basically it's been framed by two other trees and the shadows coming off it really look quite fascinating. So it's taken my eye with the backlighting of the sun lighting up the branches. So I've actually got the camera set up here. I'm on f10, 10th of a second, ISO 50, 24 to 70 at approximately 50 mil, and I framed the trees plus the shadows. So I'm going to take that shot. It's quite an extremely wide dynamic range because I've got the sun right behind one of the trees and I've also got the shadows being formed by the trees with the sun behind them. So I'm going to take the shot and we'll see what it looks like. And I've got to set a 2-second timer, so let's give that one a go. Focus on the base of the first tree. Okay, that's looking okay. That's well within all of the lights. The histogram's not blown out, so I think I've got enough there to work with. I'll probably take a second shot with the correction turned down to actually block a bit more of the light. Second shot. And one to pull out the shadows with plus 2, plus 0.3. That seems to be about right. Okay, when I get home I'm going to exposure blend those together. I don't think there's a need to actually do focus stacking because the nearest point is about 15 feet. The two trees I'm taking a picture of are about 18 feet away and the tree that I'm actually framing is about 35 feet. So I'm hoping all of that will actually be in focus. We will see. Yes, that was the shot that I was trying to take. I've got it. The sun's now just moved, as it does constantly, and it's moved to the point that the image that I'd already taken wouldn't work now because it's actually come past the tree. I was actually attempting to frame the distant tree, the middle tree, in between the two nearer trees. I think I've done that. I won't know until I get back. We'll see what happens. Okay, I've found my second shot. It's this tree behind me. It's rather a fascinating shape. I hope you can see it properly. It's a very mature tree, but it's rather unusual. The roots and everything on it seem to be almost just growing out of nowhere in some cases, but it's based on a little bank, so I'm going to move the camera over there and align the bank with the tree and take the shot from there. Okay, I've lined up on the tree to take the next shot. You might notice that the camera behind me on the tripod is set very high. I'm trying to actually get a more aerial view of the tree, although not quite aerial, but a higher vantage point, and having this ridiculously long tripod allows me to put the camera securely quite a bit higher up than I can even reach myself. So to actually help me with that, I've got a device on here. Strapped to the camera tripod leg is an adapter that holds my iPhone, and my iPhone is actually wirelessly connected to the camera, and I can take the I can adjust any of the settings and actually take the pictures there, and I can also fully see what the camera is seeing, which is really very handy in awkward angles and spaces. I often use that when I'm quite low down and I don't want to actually make my knees hurt by kneeling for too long. So I'll show it to you. It's really quite a fascinating way of working. Okay, as you can see here, the tripod is set up fairly high, and even if I try, I can't even reach it well enough to do anything with it. So I'm completely dependent on using this iPhone app, which, if I can get the reflections off it, you can see has got all of the camera settings set up ready. And if I want to take the actual shot, which I will now do, there we are, we've taken the shot. I can adjust the ISO and various other things from this this interface if I want to. I can adjust the F number, I can adjust most settings, exposure compensation, and everything I want to do. So that's I'm finding a really great boon from the point of view of doing things slightly differently. Anyway, I'll take a couple more shots and then we'll go back home and see what we've got from it. As you can see, I've got the sun directly in my eyes, unfortunately, which is making it a bit difficult to look at the camera, and it's also making it a bit difficult to operate the iPhone. So I'm actually taking another of those images, but with the exposure compensation set quite negative, so I can darken some of the sky, and then I'll take a second one with the exposure quite positive, probably about +1, +1.5 EV, so that I can bring the details out in the tree trunk. Yep, I think that's worked nicely. Okay, I've actually changed lenses now and put the 100 to 400 on. I've framed up a shot which is actually of a section of the roots of this tree that I've just taken a picture of a few seconds ago. I just find it a fascinating pattern, and with the backlighting from the sun and the shadows, of course, I think it makes an interesting image. I'll show it to you. I'll show you what I'm seeing on the back of the camera. Okay, so this is the image that I'm trying to take. I find it a pleasing image, actually. I don't know how it'll come out in post-processing, hopefully reasonably well. I've got the camera at f10 -0.3, ISO 50, 1/8 of a second, and I'm out at about 250mm on the lens. 300, yeah, 250 exactly by the look of it. Oh, let's just see. Yeah, that's 250, alright. So I'll take that shot and we'll see what comes from this. There we are, that's all nice. I better check it. Bit of pixel peeping and chimping never goes amiss. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, good. Well, that's everything from the Ashdown Forest. Thank you very much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked this video, and thank you very much. Goodbye.